correction. I've been saying sidereal because that's how it's sort of spelled out, sidereal, but it's actually pronounced sidereal.
Sidereal.
Sidereal. In case you were wondering, I don't make the rules. Sorry.
Yeah. What if we told you that the astrology you've been following for your whole entire life, I'm talking those Yahoo horoscopes you've been following since you were on the internet, was a lie?
It's not your real sign, and we're going to get into why that really is in a little bit. If you're new here, my name is B.
And my name is Jessy.
And we help women heal themselves from the inside out. We use things like breath work, energy work, and conscious coaching. So if that sounds in alignment with you, hit the subscribe button and stick around for more.
Yeah. Okay. So this totally blew my mind when I first met B. She totally validated everything that I had been told by people my whole entire life. Like past partners, friendships, where you're like having that like conversation, getting to know each other, like, what's your sign? And everyone always guessed. They were like, Cancer. You're 100% a Cancer. I just feel it. I see it. And then, but also I like see how you're a Leo. And like, I do identify with Leo, but it was not the right placement it wasn't the same placement that I thought it was until she explained to me, yeah, you're like a Leo rising. That's how people see you. But your sun sign is Cancer. Totally blew my mind. And I was just like, wow, this validates everything that I've ever been told by everyone I've ever met.
Right. So if you're living in the Western world, like we're in the United States, we grew up with something called tropical astrology. So if you don't know, and it's going to be a really basic explanation because this is how I understand it. And astrology, to be honest, can get kind of complicated. So I'm going to give it to you like super, super simple. So there are different types of astrology. The one that Westerners typically follow is tropical astrology. And this type of astrology is based off of the Earth's seasons. And so the seasons are fixed, spring starts in March, summer is in the summer, June, fall isn't like, it's just fixed. But then I learned about something called sidereal astrology, and this astrology is slightly different, but it makes a huge difference like in your birth chart and everything. So sidereal astrology is not fixed. It actually accounts for how the stars have changed and shifted in the sky, because that's what happens. Like the universe, the solar system, things move around. It's actually not fixed. So when I was actually open to hearing the science behind all of this, because science is important for like a part of me, like my intellectual part really loves the science. When I learned that, it blew my mind, and I could not go back to identifying with tropical astrology because, to me, in my opinion, it's a total lie. It's like what the false matrix, what like the bad guys like want you to believe about yourself, because in actuality, it's not your true self.
And I think that it's easy to over-identify too with those signs in that way. Explain like what each sign kind of is, like the subconscious.
Yeah.
The people want to know.
Okay. So there are like three like main, I guess, placements. This is not, your whole birth chart, but just like three main placements that you've probably heard people talk about. And if you haven't, I'll explain them. So your sun sign, that's like, when someone asks your sign, that's like typically what you respond with. So that's your sun sign. That's like something that's more consciously you. You're much more aware maybe of these traits. Your moon sign, however, could be more of like a subconscious sort of sign for you. They're equally as important. Like they're two halves of one whole is how it's been described to me and what feels true to me. Like I feel like we over identify and over like emphasize our sun signs, but really like you're not getting the full picture of who you are if you're just like, oh, I'm an Aquarius. Like, okay, no, but what's your moon sign? But then, so that's your subconscious. Your moon sign, think about it. When the moon comes out, that's like the darkness and, your subconscious, your intuition. That's what keeps you like feeling emotionally stable. That's your moon sign. And then your rising sign is how the world sees you, how you come off to people, what you're like, I guess, what energy you're sort of putting out there and how people perceive you.
Now I know why everyone always thought like either Cancer or Leo, because those are two of my placements.
Right.
Which I didn't realize. I was like, oh, that's why people see me this way. But like when they get to know, because I think Leo gets a bad rep.
Yeah, I'm a Leo rising too.
I feel like people think you're cocky or, yeah.
Which those can be traits of a Leo, kind of in your, the shadow side of Leo. Like if Leo gone wrong, Leo gone bad or whatever it is. Like if you're kind of like in your ego, then yeah, I mean, anyone can exhibit those traits too. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, like none of this matters. We're really all of the signs. We're all of it. Oh, and by the way, there's not just 12 signs. There's 13 signs. They want us to think that 13 is a bad number, but it's not. It's actually a really beautiful, like, ethereal, divine God number. So Ophiuchus is the 13th sign.
And
mind blown.
Oh my God. And this, I went down a whole rabbit hole the other day, but like that's why they want you to think 13 is a bad number, and that's why there's no like 13th floor in any buildings. It's like it's weird. It's weird. It's a powerful number actually. It's a good number.
It's like a divine feminine number too, and of course, what do they want to do? They want to squash the divine feminine. If this is like triggering you, I 100% get it. By the way, this, to be honest, took me years to accept. People would tell me here and there, because in tropical astrology, I'm a Pisces, but I've had psychics, I've had just different people say, oh no, there's this other astrology and you're really an Aquarius. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm like this watery, flowy, intuitive, da-da-da-da-da. And I really over-identified with that. And it wasn't until I was ready to hear the truth that I let it sort of penetrate my field and my mind and my consciousness, and I was able to accept the truth. However, I will say this. I've been talking a little bit extreme about like how tropical is a lie and it's not your true self. That is one perspective, but I heard another perspective recently that felt even more true to me. And it's this, that in the false matrix that we've been living in, with tropical astrology, with 12 signs, with all these other things that are not really true, it's still been like a part of us because we've been living in it. We've been co-creating. Even if it was a lie, like we've still been subscribing and programmed to that matrix. So some of that like is us and it is true. While also this other truth, more true thing that's coming in, sidereal astrology, 13 signs, all the other things that we could spend hours and hours talking about, that's also true. So at the end of the day, it's all a part of us.
So if somebody's kind of a little skeptical watching this, where can they go to figure out what their true astrological sign is?
We will link a astrology birth chart down below where you can put in your date of birth, the time you were born, where you were born, all of that. Also, if you're into human design, sorry, we will link cosmic human design down below. This takes into account your sidereal astrology chart reading, because human design as we know it takes in tropical. So in that, I was a manifester, and that never really, to my core, that never felt like it was me. In cosmic human design, I'm a projector. Oh my God.
Yeah, we both are.
We both resonated more. It resonates so much more. I don't even know what you are in regular human design, actually. We should look that up just to like, whatever. But if you want to kind of go deep into the rabbit hole and just see how it feels in your body. Like, don't take my word for it. Like, actually experience it for yourself and like see what's true for you. And let your mind go with this. Your mind is going to want to maybe come in and be skeptical like mine was, and this isn't real, and da 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 da. And if you're triggered, like, maybe now is not the time for you to like soak in this information, and that's totally fine. Maybe you revisit this in a couple weeks, in a couple years. I don't really know. That's your journey. But I just want to validate that like it can be a lot, especially if you have like been really into this stuff.
Right. And I think, you know, in the beginning of the video, I was talking about how, oh, it was just like, it was so validating. And I just was like, you know, I just fully trusted her and do trust her. And it was a lot of validation for me. I know that's not going to be everybody's experience with this.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't mine. So I get it.
So if you've made it this far in the video, like, what's your sign? Let us know in the comments below. So drop what your tropical sign is, and then after you look up your chart for Sidereal, drop your new sign. Let us know.
Let us know. We'd love to hear it. As always, take what you need, leave the rest, and go love yourself.